So, Star Wars Outlaws came on to Nintendo Switch 2, and a lot of people have been wondering what this game is like. Thank you to Ubisoft for providing me with a code to be able to showcase this game. This video is extremely late, so I do apologize for that. I've just been really busy. At the time of it landing, I was in hospital. I know that seems like so far away, but I've only really just been able to get my stuff into arrangement, and now I'm just trying to catch up. So again, thank you to Ubisoft for providing me with this code. The game itself runs fine. I can see it's running generally around 30 FPS. It feels like at times, depending on the scenes you're going to, it is hitting that 40, maybe in some places even 60, but generally you're getting a 30 FPS experience. But for the Switch 2, I feel like that is perfectly fine. Now, what Ubisoft have managed to do with this game on the Switch 2, the fact that it's even existing is a technical marvel. Now, I do believe that they've pretty much utilized a lot of what the hardware is capable of, and as I was playing it, I really didn't feel like I was getting a lesser experience than, say, the other versions of the game. Sure, they're going to look better and run with a higher performance, but for what you get with the Switch 2 and what it is, this is actually a really, really good, graphical display. Yes, there were some flickering here and there, and as you'll see throughout this video, there'll be some areas where the textures in the background are just flickering in and out. Especially in docked mode, I was getting a lot of that. Surprisingly, in handheld mode, I wasn't getting much of that. Obviously, the resolution is lower in handheld mode, so that was probably helping it. I also noticed that it just kind of ran potentially a little smoother as well in handheld. Well, more stable, I should say. Because in docked mode, you could feel it going from 30 FPS to 40, and in the very few areas maybe hitting up to like 60 or just below 60, but generally it was just fluctuating between 30 and 40. It was never really stabilized, whereas in handheld mode it just felt solid, and I did feel like it was running at 30 FPS. But you know what? It felt fine. But a handheld, I didn't really notice it. And this is coming from someone who's quite snobbish when it comes to gaming, that is anything below 60. And I know a lot of people are going to call me out for this, but I'm genuinely surprised with just how well the Switch 2 actually ran this game. Now, there are other games that the Switch 2 has done really well, but looking at this, whether it's walking through the busy towns or looking at the landscapes, air travel, air combat, or whether you're just looking around the cities in the openness to see as far wide as you can, which are areas that you can visit, it just felt really nice and smooth. The graphical fidelity for the Switch isn't going to compare to the likes of the Series X, the PS5, PS5 Pro, or the high-end PCs, but it delivered a very, very satisfying graphical output, which again, I was really surprised coming from the Nintendo Switch 2. I didn't really expect it to handle games like this in such a good way, and that is actually testament to the work and effort that Ubisoft put in order to make this work. Now, a lot has been said about this game and its performance and why Ubisoft decided to go down the route they did. But I really feel with the decisions that Ubisoft made in order to get this game to the level it's actually at, I think they made the right choice. I think they made the right decisions. And honestly, I'm actually really impressed with just what you get. In fact, I'm probably gonna end up playing most of this game on the Switch as opposed to my PC, just because it's easier for me to play in handheld mode. It actually gives me a reason to play on my Nintendo Switch. I didn't really notice any stuttering, any jittering, like I said, in terms of like flickering the backgrounds with like the draw distance, that was apparent, especially in some areas on the docked mode. It wasn't the case in undocked mode, in handheld mode. There was a lot more stabilization there. Audio was fine regardless of whether you were playing it in docked or undocked. It's just, yeah, the overall I think it's the overall resolution. When you're playing it on a TV, it's gonna upscale no matter what it does. My Switch 2 was set to 1080p, so when it's upscaling on my monitor, it's upscaling to 2K. I can only imagine what's going to happen if I had it plugged in and upscaled to 4K on my TV. Those kind of flickering I expect to get a little worse. Whereas in handheld mode, the resolution is a lot less, so the flickering is almost non-existent. I did run into a specific bug that required me to reload my game save, which wasn't too bad because it was right there. And, that was actually a game-breaking bug where I was trying to lock onto a target during flight combat, and it just wouldn't lock on. It just ignored the target entirely. And yeah, so reloading the save fixed that. Haven't really experienced anything like that in the other modes, so this must be just an off chance of while I was playing, but that was really the only issue that I had. Whether it was the cutscenes in the game, which rendered a little higher, they were done and delivered really well in both desktop and in handheld mode. But overall, I think this version of the game is actually a really, really good output. Ubisoft done a really, really good job. Star Wars Outlaws, if you are interested in this game and want to play it, and I highly recommend it, because despite the fact that despite all the hate this game got for all the wrong reasons, just because of Kate Voss and the way she looks, there's a really good game underneath. And all those people that were complaining about the instant fail missions, that's all being rectified as well, even though I never really found a problem with those either. So underneath, you've got this really cool story that's a Star Wars story, but not really a Jedi story. You get to meet characters as well, like Lando, which is really cool. So it's kind of, it's in the Star Wars universe, just not the universe, it's more like the Andor storyline than the actual Jedi storyline, but it's got a really cool story. The cinematics are great. The flight travel is good. The skill ups are, done in a good way. I don't like the actual bounty system in terms of factions. I've never been a fan of that, so it's not just for this game, but you do need to do them in order to unlock your skills, so you do need a bit of those. But overall, the performance held up and the quality held up. And so, if you're not expecting a 4090 or a 5090 performance in terms of graphical fidelity, or even just a Series X level of graphical fidelity, you're in for a really good treat. Again, Ubisoft, you absolutely delivered with this one. Well done. And hopefully you'll enjoy this game. Let me know in the comment section below if you've tried this game on the Switch 2, or if you're considering picking it up. If you are a fan of Outlaws, wanted to pick it up, and you have a Nintendo Switch, you really can't go wrong with this version of the game. It really is a good build. It really is performing well for the Switch 2. And yeah, I'm having a good time, and I'm probably going to continue playing it through on the Switch 2. I hope this was useful to you. I hope this was beneficial. And if you did enjoy the video, if any of what I've just said resonated with you, or you enjoyed the video, do consider leaving a like, subscribe, hit that bell to stay up to date with all content I release, and I will see you in the next one. I will be doing more of these videos as we go along, whether it's previews, impressions. I'm trying to add more to this channel than just the news reporting, and I really hope you guys enjoy this content and support it. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Remain legend.
Something smells good.